right, so now we're going to jump into chapter 3, and we're going to kind of jump into graphing our demand. We're going to graph it, and then we're going to define it. So we are now exiting the kind of preliminary stages of the class, right? So, we learned the circular flow, we learned the production possibility frontier, we learned the budget constraint. We're not really going to be using those throughout the rest of the class. They are models that we learn to learn what a model is, and they're also just models to kind of learn how economists think about things, think about resource allocation. But the supply and demand graphs that we're learning in chapter 3 are going to be with us for the rest of the class. So we are going to be using these quite a lot. So for the rest of the class, when we draw a graph, again, we're sticking to just the positives, right? Economics doesn't deal with negative quantities or negative amounts of money. And now we're going to be looking at price on the y-axis, and we're going to be looking at quantity on the x-axis. If you ever have trouble remembering which goes where, you can remember that it just is, it follows the alphabet. So the mnemonic that I use is to just, sing yourself the alphabet. Once you get to the L, M, N, O, P part, Q, you see that P comes to the left of the Q, just like this price, when you're labeling the graph, comes to the left of this quantity. So for those people that have left-right dyslexia, this helps a lot, right? Mnemonics are helpful. So sing the alphabet to yourself, and it just goes the order of the alphabet. All right. So when we're talking about demand, we're talking about the side of transactions that we are typically involved in, right? And so when we're talking about demand, we can kind of think about our own actions as a way to define and graph our initial demand, right? And so let's say that let's say that you buy a Monster energy drink or some kind of coffee or something like that every day, right? And let's say that you typically it's $3 or something like that. And let's say we're talking about the quantity, maybe we'll say over a week or maybe even a month, right? Let's say a week. And so for $3, you might buy 5 of them, right? And this is going to be, Monster Energy, for lack of a better example, right? We all shouldn't be drinking these things, of course we do. But so for $3, right, we might buy 5. Now, what happens when the price increases? What's that going to do to our purchasing habits of Monster Energy? We're going to buy less of it, right? So if the price goes up to $4, maybe now we're only going to buy, 3 of them. If the price goes up to, $5, maybe we only buy 1. If the price goes down to $2, what do we do when things go on sale? We buy more, right? So if the price goes down to $2, we might increase to buying 7. And so what the demand curve is it's just the schedule of these points, right? So these different decisions that we make as consumers, when we put them all together, that's what gives us a demand curve. So it's telling us the quantity demanded at each price. So this is a quantity demanded, this is a quantity demanded, this is a quantity demanded, and this is a quantity demanded. So it's telling us how much people are going to be getting at different prices. questions on just kind of the definition of it. One of the things that I want to try to get ahead of right now is the fact that the demand curve is built on price changes, right? Like that's how we built it, was talking about, okay, if we buy, 5 at $3, then we're going to buy less at $4. We're going to buy more at $2, right? So it's important for us to remember that the demand curve is built by price changes. This is going to be important later, but I just want to kind of anchor that point in right now, that the demand curve is built by price changes. Okay.